Hello everyone and welcome to another round of Tuesday Night Legacy. Tonight we got a new one for you. We have Cephalid Breakfast versus Maverick. On the left we have Max Gilmore playing his Cephalid Breakfast list. He calls it Kathrine Crunch because it runs 4 of the Triumph of St. Kathrine, which has actually been seeing some serious play in Legacy. Now this card on the front seems a little overcosted, but the thing is that it's a miracle card. So if you're playing Ponders or Brainstorms, you can set yourself up to be able to play a 2-mana 5/5 with lifelink that never goes away if it just gets killed. Because that other ability, it exiles and it is always in the top 6 cards of your library, so it's always pretty good odds that you're going to be drawing a 2-mana 5/5 lifelink beater for the rest of the game, unless it gets exiled with swords or something like that. But it is pretty resistant to prismatic ending as well, with its mana cost being 5. So a decent beater if you have to go the mid-range plan. This deck, in its heart, is a combo deck. It uses Cephalid Illusionist and Nomad's Encore in order to mill your entire library. So you can redirect damage from Nomad's Encore to a creature you control, and you're going to pay 0 mana to do that. You can do it as often as you want. So you're targeting Cephalid Illusionist. Whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability, you put the top 3 cards from your library into your graveyard. You can also do this with Shuko. It is an artifact. Here it is. Shuko with an equip 0, so you can actually equip it and then equip it again for 0 mana, targeting the same creature again and again and again. And because that's an ability that's targeted, that also activates the Cephalid Illusionist. And so you put your entire library into your graveyard and win with the good old Thassa's Oracle route. So when the library gets flipped, you have 4 Necromoeba in the deck that are going to flip over into play, because when they go into your graveyard, they come into play. And then you have the Dread Return, which allows you to sacrifice 3 creatures and bring a creature from your graveyard back into play. And because the library is now empty, Thassa's Oracle checks and sees that it's 0 and just wins the game. Just like any other Thassa's Oracle decks, maybe like Oops All Spells or Doomsday. But of course, Max does have a backup plan if you can get through the Thassa's Oracle. Has the Stoneforge Mystic not only to find the Shuko, but it has Cauldron Complete, which is an excellent beater by itself. And then of course the Triumph of St. Kathrine. So you can basically either win the game through combo or through beats. Really depends on the game state. On the other side of the board, we have Ben, our local Maverick brewer, going through all the different colors of the Maverick deck, almost always staying as green and white so that he can play Knight of the Reliquary, but he has recently added red and blue. Red getting things like Mawlock, which comes into play and fights a creature. Mince and Boo, one of the powerhouse planeswalkers of Legacy right now. And Dack Maverick for the blue. Just a very good planeswalker that doesn't see enough play. This deck is based all around Green Sun Zenith, which can go and find any toolbox creature that you need at any given time to bail you out of any scenario. Now, Ben has recently added 3 mainboard Aethersworn Canonists to try and slow down the combo match, as one of the worst matchups that Maverick has is combo, since it's trying to play so fair and have these super value good creatures, but if they just combo off, you can't do anything with your good creatures. So Aethersworn Canonist slowing all that down. Haywire Might being able to deal with Cauldron Complete at 1 green mana, pretty good. And Hull Breacher being another creature that is good for the blue splash that pairs very well with Dack Maverick. Turns that +1 into discard 2 cards and give me 2 treasures. So we will see who gets there this time, the combo mid-range deck versus the solid mid-range deck. Let's get started. We see Max starting with a Polluted Delta and just passing turn, nothing to start too aggressively. A Noble Hierarch from Ben. Going to be able to ramp, hopefully, into a turn 2 Knight of the Reliquary for nice beats. We're seeing that turn 2... That turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic for Max. Digging through the deck, grabbing the Shuko. This is signaling that he does probably have a Cephalid Illusionist in his hand. He's not going for the beatdown approach. Getting to put Shuko and Cephalid Illusionist into play next turn. The whole combo costing 3 mana total is pretty good. We do see a Haywire Might, which is probably going to slow down Max's plan here, as 1 green mana can be spent to get rid of Shuko at instant speed. Max trying to decide how to navigate this. One of those fetch lands, the Marsh Flats going to the graveyard here. 3 mana is going to get a Teferi Time Raveler. So cannot respond at instant speed. Abilities can still be used at instant speed, but you cannot cast a spell at instant speed. Attacking for 1/2 with the Haywire Might. Going to go ahead and bin the Stoneforge Mystic to protect Teferi, keep him at 5. Max definitely wants this Teferi to stay in play to stop Ben from being able to respond to his combo. 3 mana. 3 mana cast gets a Knight of the Reliquary into play, bouncing the Haywire Might. So shields are down. The Cephalid Illusionist is here. The Shuko is here. The combo is active. So with nothing in play to stop this from happening, Max is going to turn over his whole graveyard, or his whole library into the graveyard, getting those 3 Narcomoebas. I guess it's only 3. I thought it was 4. And we're going to see a Dread return, grabbing the Thassa's Oracle, and that is going to be the game. Ben just going, hey, can I see that graveyard there? That is now known information. Says, sure, go ahead and paw through it. That's fine. So Max gets a quick win here on game 1, and we're going to go to game 2. Ben, now understanding what's up, has changed his game plan dramatically to be able to combat the combo. We're seeing a Noble Hierarch on turn 1, just like usual. Putting down the Nomad's Encore, the creature version of Shuko. Also running 4 of these, so basically there's 5 ways to activate that Cephalid Illusionist in this deck. Max putting down a pretty good card here for this, in Aethersworn Canonist. This is difficult to work around because if you're casting the Dread Return, you can't basically do the combo all at once. You can put the combo into play and then you can activate it next turn. Dread Return has to be your 1 non-artifact spell that you're casting for that turn. But when you do that, your shields are super down because if there is a response to the Dread Return in some way, shape, or form, then you lose the game because you got no library. We're seeing a red Elemental Blast trying to kill the Cephalid Illusionist, but Max does have priority here, so he is actually activating the card not all at once, just multiple 3s, sped it up to 3 times speed here. And I am not 100% sure what the plan is here, because we know he can't win this turn. He already cast Cephalid Illusionist, so he's leaving a couple cards in the graveyard, so maybe he can activate it next turn. Okay. All right, so we're seeing the 3 Narcomoebas come into play. Gonna get a little bit quieter. My son just went to sleep. Hope that's okay for everybody. And we're seeing Max go to his turn here. Just an attack from Ben. Not too many cards left in the library. Digging through, Max trying to decide what's left in his graveyard, or what's left in his deck. Bringing all of his lands to the front, as he does have a Polluted Delta in hand, and he wants to see, before I go and search, if there's anything left in my deck that's worth using this Delta on. He's just making sure one more time. So we're going to see 3 of these creatures. The Thassa's Oracle is going to come into play here, and an Endurance is going to be flashed in response. So Endurance is going to shuffle the library, with Dread Return being the only non-artifact spell cast. This is going to happen. So the Thassa's Oracle is going to come into play here. Everything is going to get shuffled up. Oh, it's in response to the Thassa's, or in response to the Dread Return. So no Thassa's Oracle. It's still in the graveyard. So Max losing a lot of value there. The Dread Return is now exiled. A Shuko coming into play and just equip into the Narcomoeba. You got a 2/1 Narcomoeba here. Seeing some beats come across with the Endurance. Decides not to attack with the Aethersworn Canonist since the Shuko is giving +1/+0. Doesn't want to lose the Aethersworn Canonist. Plays a second one just to make double sure that that effect will stay in play. 2 cards at the top of the Brainstorm, going to Max's turn. Sacrifices the Polluted Delta, definitely has the land this time. Finds a Tundra, brings it into play. So Max definitely on the back foot now. The combo off the table as Dread Return is no longer in the deck. So Max having to work hopefully on the Triumph of St. Kathrine plan here. 2 mana is going to see a prismatic ending, getting rid of one of the Aethersworn Canonists. Only thing he can do that turn, so he passes it back. Crunching in for another 4. And a Gaddock Teeg is going to come into play here. Gaddock Teeg saying non-creature spells with converted mana cost 4 can't be cast, can't be played. And that's going to stop Dread Return. I don't think it's going to stop anything else, though. It's going to stop Step Through as well, but usually that's just used for the wizard cycling. Although Force of Will is also caught with that, and you can't hard cast Cauldron Complete either. So a decent sideboard card to be bringing in here. Just a Ponder from Max. Can't stay alive too much longer. We're seeing a Swords take care of the Aethersworn Canonist, the second one, so Max can actually cast more than one spell now each turn, if he really wants to. A Fetch brings him down to 2. He's already at lethal range, so might as well. There is red in Ben's deck, but I don't think he runs Punishing Fire anymore. Punishing Fire taken out for a bunch of different better red cards. Seeing the Cephalid Illusionist. And we're seeing a second Cephalid Illusionist. Mostly just blockers at this point. They are 1/1s. Whenever this turn, prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to and dealt by target creature you control. So it is a very bad fog if you can block with it. Gaddock Teeg and Endurance coming in there. Max getting rid of basically everything else that he had. He has one Cephalid Illusionist, still has the Shuko. We're seeing a Knight of the Reliquary for Ben. Tapping that Wasteland, deciding that whatever he has in his hand is better. It's a Swords to Plowshares. Oh, Force of Will is live. And we're going to see the Cephalid Illusionist go for it. Although I'm not sure what the plan is here for Max. Gets a Narcomoeba. Looking for something. Maybe he's just looking for more Narcomoebas to have in play. And yeah, that was it. He passed the turn. So I feel like Ben's sweating here, but I don't think he has any real reason to. He doesn't know that... Well, he should know at this point that Max only has one Dread Return and that it's exiled. And Max is just kind of spinning his wheels here, trying to stay alive. Ben gets to play an Urza's Saga off the top. This can definitely generate him some serious advantage. Later in the game here, a Wasteland taking care of something. Underground Sea. So Max back to exactly what he was in last turn. He has a Force of Will in his hand. Yeah, decides there's no way to stop this. So we go to game 3. Ben going down to 6. And we see a Ponder from Max to start the game. Drawn 1, passing turn. Max has those really pretty islands. I know you can't really see, but it's got this nice little sailboat in the corner. I forget what promo it is. It's a really nice one. I think that's a Taiga on Ben's side coming in. Starting with a Carpet of Flowers. So for all that blue mana that Max gets to have in play, Ben is going to have no more because it's going to get Prismatic Ending. It would have generated a ton of extra advantage as far as mana is concerned, getting any color mana that you'd like on either one of your main phases for how many islands that your opponent has in play. An Outland Liberator coming down. This is a great answer to at least Shuko, destroying target artifact, for 1 mana. And if it can flip, whenever it attacks, you get to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Max, seeing the threat, puts down the Nomad's Encore instead of something else after a Ponder, having half of the combo in play. If Ben does not cast anything here, I believe it will become Night. And he could have his boy flip there. Max deciding to read the back of the card there. And we're going to see... Nope, there's going to be a cast here. An Aethersworn Canidus, more important to get down than flipping the boy. A Miracle from the Ponder is going to see the 2-mana 5/5 with lifelink come into play. So Max officially on the beatdown plan here. Ben deciding what he wants to do with his Urza Saga. He's going to make that construct and get a 1 cast out of his deck. 1 or 0 cast. Is it Shadow Spear? No, the Soul Guide Lantern. Because you can tap this and exile each opponent's graveyard at any given time. Gonna be hard for Cephalid Illusionist to get around that. Not casting anything else. The Outland Liberator will flip to the Frenzied Trap Breaker. Seeing a shuffle from the Flooded Strand. Max probably just turns it sideways. So 5 damage. Going to gain 5 life. Some huge swings of damage there. The Stoneforge Mystic probably going to go and get Kaldra, I would guess. Feels like there's no real need not to. So Kaldra complete. Extremely difficult to answer. Cannot be destroyed as it is indestructible. We're seeing some beats. A 3/3 construct. Nomad's Encore getting blocked here. Redirecting some damage to Kathrine. So it gets to live. Actually using the ability. Redirecting the 3 damage. It's almost like banding in a way. But less confusing. Seeing the Haywire might come down, reads the card and goes, oh yeah, that could take care of Kaldra. I'm going to spend my Force of Will on that. The Haywire might, being able to pay green to exile target non-creature artifact, which Kaldra in fact is. A Cabal Therapy, not sure what it was naming, but revealing the hand and deciding to slap down Kaldra complete, seeing there's no answer for it there. A Hull Breacher, a Collector Oof, and a Green Sun Zenith, I think. Now we get to turn it sideways for 10. Bringing Ben down to 2. Rough stuff. Hoping to draw something and doesn't find it. That is the game. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you want to see more of this content in the future. We have a bunch more of these on the channel, so go check out our backlog to see some other premium content. If you're curious about a deck you saw played here, the deck lists are always in the description of the video below. Thanks as always to Spellhold Games for letting us play at their store, and we'll see you next time for some more Magic content on Tuesday Night Legacy. Bye!